Ladies and gentlemen, there is a kind of power that doesn't need noise. It doesn't seek validation, and it certainly doesn't beg for understanding. It walks into the room, does what needs to be done, and leaves without asking for applause. That power belongs to those who never complain and never explain. Complaining is an easy trap. It feels good in the moment, like a release, like justice. But have you ever noticed how it changes nothing? Complaints don't move mountains. They don't fix broken systems. They don't turn failures into victories. Complaints only steal your energy, making you a victim of circumstances instead of the master of them. The strongest people in the world aren't the ones who never face hardship. They're the ones who refuse to let hardship define them. And then there's the endless temptation to explain yourself, to justify, to defend, to make sure people get why you did what you did. But let's be honest, when was the last time explaining changed a critic's mind? When was the last time justification built something great? People believe what they want to believe. If they doubt you, let them. If they misunderstand you, so be it. The moment you stop explaining is the moment you start owning your path. Think about history's greatest leaders, thinkers, and doers. They didn't waste their breath convincing others. They acted, they moved forward. And the world adjusted. That is the level of certainty you must carry. Let your results be your response. Let your character be your proof. The world is filled with noise. People complaining about what they cannot change and explaining things that need no explanation. But the ones who rise above, they are different. They are silent when others whine. They are focused when others seek approval. And in the end, they are the ones who win. So from this moment forward, let action be your language. Let success be your reply. Do the work, walk your path, and leave no room for doubt. Because power is never in words, it's in presence. There is a secret to strength that most people overlook. It's not found in words, not in long explanations, and certainly not in complaints. It's found in movement, in resilience, in the quiet determination of those who refuse to let circumstances define them. Life will throw challenges your way, some unfair, some unexpected, and some that shake you to your core. But here's the truth. Complaining about them won't change a thing. Think about it. Every minute spent complaining is a minute stolen from the time you could use to rise above. Every word spoken in frustration is energy that could be used to create solutions. The world doesn't slow down for your struggles, and it certainly won't hand out rewards for suffering. It only respects those who stand up, face the storm, and keep walking. When you stop complaining, something incredible happens. You take back control. You stop waiting for someone to fix things for you, and instead you become the kind of person who makes things happen. You shift from being a victim of life circumstances to the architect of your own destiny. There will be moments when things feel unfair, when the effort you put in doesn't get the recognition it deserves, when you see others take shortcuts and get ahead while you're still grinding. It's tempting to complain, but what does it really achieve? The most powerful people in the world don't waste time talking about how life should be. They work with what is, and they turn it into something extraordinary. Strength is not in words, it's in the quiet discipline of those who refuse to be held back. It's in the ability to get up after every failure without looking around for sympathy. It's in the decision to keep pushing forward even when no one is watching. So let others waste time complaining about what they can't change. Let them drown in self-pity while you rise in silence. Because in the end, it's not the noise that changes the world, it's the action. Hardship is not a curse, it's a test. It doesn't exist to break you but to reveal you. Every challenge, every obstacle, every moment of doubt is an invitation to rise, to grow, to prove to yourself what you are truly made of. Life will not hand you an easy script. It will not move out of your way just because you wish it would. It will push, it will shake, and it will demand that you either stand tall or fall apart. But here's the thing. Falling apart is a choice. Rising is too. The strongest people in the world are not the ones who never struggle. They are the ones who refuse to let struggle define them. They don't sit in the darkness and ask why life is unfair. They don't wait for the world to understand their pain. They get up, they move forward, they turn wounds into wisdom, setbacks into comebacks, and pain into power. There will be times when life feels ruthless, when people misunderstand you, when opportunities slip away, when nothing seems to go as planned. And in those moments, it is easy to believe that the universe is against you. But here's the truth. Life isn't against you, and it isn't for you either. Life simply moves. It isn't different like the ocean. It will drown those who panic and lift those who learn how to swim. When you stop seeing hardship as an enemy, you start seeing it as a teacher. You realize that every closed door is redirecting you to something better, that every failure is refining you, that every painful moment is preparing you for something greater. The world will always test those who dare to dream big. It will challenge those who refuse to settle. And in those challenges, you have a choice to complain about how hard it is or to rise so high that nothing can touch you. Strength isn't loud. It doesn't announce itself. It's in the way you carry yourself, in the way you refuse to be broken, in the way you keep moving no matter how heavy the burden. Let others complain about how hard life is. Let them explain why they couldn't make it. You just rise. Not everyone will understand you. Not everyone will see the fire in your soul, the purpose behind your actions, or the reason you chose a different path. And that's okay. You were not put on this earth to explain yourself to those who are committed to misunderstanding you. The truth is, people will believe what they want to believe. They will create their own stories about you. Some will admire you, some will judge you, and some will doubt you no matter how much you try to explain. But real power comes from knowing that their opinions do not define you. The moment you stop explaining yourself is the moment you free yourself. You don't owe anyone a justification for your dreams. You don't have to defend your choices to people who are not walking in your shoes. You don't need permission to be who you are. Because at the end of the day, those who truly understand you don't need explanations, and those who demand them will never be satisfied no matter what you say. Think about it. Every time you pause to explain yourself, you're slowing down your own journey. Every time you try to convince someone of your worth, you're wasting energy that could be used to build something extraordinary. The most successful people in the world do not waste their breath trying to be understood. They act, they move forward, they let their results speak for them. If you are bold enough to chase something bigger than yourself, you will be questioned. If you refuse to settle for an ordinary life, people will doubt you. That is the price of standing out. But remember this, you are not here to fit into their expectations. You are here to break barriers, to redefine limits, to create a life that feels right for you and that doesn't require explanations. Let your work be your answer. Let your success be your statement. Let your silence be louder than any words you could ever say. Because when you stop explaining, you start owning who you are. And there is no greater power than that. The loudest voice in the room is not always the most powerful. Real power is silent. It doesn't seek validation. It doesn't beg for approval. It simply moves, creates, and achieves. In a world where everyone is talking, defending, and justifying, the ones who rise above are the ones who let their actions do the talking. Success has a language of its own, and it doesn't need words. You don't have to convince people that you're capable, prove it through results. You don't have to explain why you made a certain choice. Let the impact of that choice speak for itself. The moment you stop explaining and start executing, everything changes. Your energy shifts. You stop being reactive and start being unstoppable. Every great achiever in history has one thing in common. They were too busy creating to stop and explain themselves. They didn't waste time answering critics. They didn't pause to defend their dreams to those who couldn't see the vision. They simply acted. And because they acted, the world had no choice but to pay attention. People will always have opinions. They will question your choices, judge your path, and doubt your ability. That is not your problem. Your job is to keep moving forward, keep doing the work, and keep proving them wrong, not with words, but with undeniable success. Let them talk, let them misunderstand, let them assume. None of it changes the fact that you are building something great. In the end, no explanation is as powerful as achievement. No complaint is as strong as success. The most unstoppable people don't argue, don't beg, and don't justify. They act, and that is why they win. The world doesn't wait for you to be ready. It doesn't pause to hear your side of the story. It moves, it evolves. And it belongs to those who dare to act despite the noise. The ones who succeed are not the ones who complain about how things should be. They are not the ones who waste time explaining why they deserve a chance. They are the ones who take that chance, who step forward boldly, who move with such conviction that the world has no choice but to adjust. Every time you hesitate to explain yourself, remember this. History is not written by those who sought permission. It is shaped by those who refuse to be overlooked. The greatest leaders, the most influential minds, the people who changed the world did not stop to justify their choices. They didn't waste time convincing others that they were right. They simply moved, built, created, and in doing so, they forced the world to take notice. People will doubt you. They will question your path, criticize your methods, and wonder why you don't follow the script they believe in. But their doubts do not define you. Their opinions do not shape your destiny. You were not born to fit into their expectations. You were born to break barriers, to redefine limits, to create something that has never been done before. And that kind of greatness doesn't need an explanation. If you waste time trying to make people understand your vision, you will lose the momentum to build it. If you focus on proving your worth instead of becoming invaluable, you will always be seeking approval rather than owning your power. The ones who rise above are the ones who stay focused on the goal, not the noise around them. They walk their path with such certainty that eventually the world has no choice but to respect them. So let them question, let them doubt, let them wonder. None of it matters. What matters is that you keep moving, keep building, keep proving them wrong, not with words, not with explanations, but with undeniable, unstoppable success. Real power doesn't shout. It doesn't beg to be seen. It exists in the quiet confidence of those who know exactly who they are and where they're going. The strongest people in the world aren't the loudest in the room. They don't waste energy trying to convince others of their worth. They don't seek approval, and they don't explain themselves to people who will never understand their vision. They simply move, build, and achieve. In a world that thrives on noise, silence is a rare and undeniable strength. People who complain are loud. People who demand validation are loud. But the ones who truly have power, they are focused. They don't engage in meaningless debates. They don't waste time trying to change minds that are already made up. They let their work, their presence, and their success do all the talking. There will always be those who misunderstand you, those who judge your choices, question your methods, and doubt your potential. Let them. You don't owe them an explanation. You don't owe them your energy. Every second spent justifying yourself to people who don't believe in you is a second stolen from your progress. The most unstoppable people in the world don't react to negativity. They rise above it. You don't need to prove yourself to anyone. You don't need to explain your path to those who aren't walking it. Silence is not weakness, it is power. It forces the world to take notice without you having to say a word. The ones who truly succeed aren't caught up in noise, drama, or explanations. They are too busy making things happen. So let them talk, let them wonder, let them assume. You stay focused. You stay silent. And when you finally arrive where you're meant to be, your success will be the only thing that speaks for you. The best response to doubt is achievement. The best answer to criticism is undeniable success. Words mean nothing if they are not backed by action. And the most powerful people in the world understand this. They do not waste their breath explaining why they are worthy. They do not complain about the obstacles in their way. They put their heads down, do the work, and let their success speak for itself. When you stop seeking validation, you unlock a new level of power. You realize that the world does not reward excuses, explanations, or complaints. It rewards results. It rewards persistence. It rewards those who refuse to stop no matter how many times they are told they can't. Every time you are tempted to explain yourself, remember this. Your time is better spent proving yourself through action. People will talk, they will assume, they will question your journey. And while they are busy discussing you, you will be busy building something they never saw coming. The greatest victories happen in silence. The most unstoppable people do not announce their every move. They make moves, and the world notices when it's too late to stop them. When you focus on results instead of reactions, you become untouchable. You no longer care about proving people wrong because you are too busy proving yourself right. You don't have to explain why you're different. You don't have to justify your ambition. You show up, do the work, and let your success answer every question, every doubt, and every whisper behind your back. Let them wonder, let them doubt, let them talk. You stay focused, stay hungry, and keep winning. Because in the end, success is the only language the world truly understands. At the end of the day, life will not slow down to listen to your complaints, nor will it wait for your explanations. It moves forward with or without your approval. The question is, will you move with it? Will you rise beyond circumstances that test your strength? Will you silence the noise of doubt with the undeniable proof of your actions? Or will you waste time explaining yourself to those who will never truly understand? Greatness is never achieved by those who seek validation. It is achieved by those who believe in themselves so deeply that they do not need anyone else's permission to chase their dreams. The strongest people are not those who never fall. They are the ones who get back up every single time without making excuses, without looking for sympathy, and without explaining why they deserve a second chance. They simply take it. The world will always have opinions, it will always have critics, but none of that matters when you are too busy creating, achieving, and proving through action rather than words. Power is in silence. It is in resilience. It is in the ability to move forward without asking for permission or stopping to justify your choices. Those who win do not get distracted by what others think. They are focused on where they are going. So let them talk, let them judge, let them misunderstand. That is their distraction, not yours. Keep building, keep moving, and keep proving them wrong, not with explanations, not with complaints, but with the kind of success that speaks for itself. Because in the end, the loudest voice is not the one that argues, it is the one that wins.